I'm legitimately mortified as I age, the things that I'm doing that are like my father. There, I see my father. There are things from his 40s and 50s, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an old person. I can't believe that this happened to me. My father used to say throughout my childhood, I've never seen anything like this in my life, but he would say it every 10 seconds. And so that lost some of its luster. And this is what I'm telling you and this is not prisoner moment. This is an old man adult confronting mortality, trying to stay young in a young man's game as an old person. I legitimately, not just in sports, have never felt in my life, weirdly, the feeling that arrived last night. It was a first for me emotionally, and me, I can be stubborn, know-it-all, gas bag, obnoxious. You? I've never felt this before. Moved. You okay?
That was loud.
Could you hear that?
These are legitimately soundproof glasses. It's not like the last studio. These are soundproof studios. And
my mic was off.
Yeah, all the mics were off.
It went through the glass, and I got a little on my cheek, to be honest with you.
Video, can we please tell me there was a camera on her? We've spent a lot on cameras. Please tell me that this interrupting sneeze.
I'm sorry. Well, you were about to say something heartfelt.
Yeah.
I really didn't think anyone would be able to hear that.
I know we're putting our TV team through a lot right now. For them to anticipate a sneeze, I think, is a bridge too far.
Okay, but if there's video from any angle that would show what just interrupted me, as I'm legitimately trying in a moved way to explain to the audience that I was stunned by a feeling that overcame me last night, which is, without pride or ego, I put down all of my beliefs, stared at a television, and said, you know what? I'd vote for him. Trump reached me. I didn't understand what he was doing before. I thought he was a dictator. I thought, clearly he's impinging freedom. What?
Presidential. He came off. He finally.
He
earned his pinstripes.
Forgive me.
There's our lib alarm.
The fire alarm's going off to stop this sarcastic take.
Lamestream media.
No, I've changed.
After us as always.
No, Ben Shapiro, I believe in you. I want to join their side now because now I understand. How can you not be caught up in the sway of a man who isn't a public rapist just because of isn't a public rapist? He's a sex offender and he clearly did these things. But isn't a rapist because because it can't be totally proven that it was not his penis, it was his finger.
Oh.
That was on television and finally convinced me, yes, of course, you've been running on a platform. I'm going to grab him by it started there and then a million Watergates, but I was looking at it all wrong.
Yeah, you and thousands of others were sitting on their couch being like, I see it.
Now I get it.
Now I get it.
I feel like you're doing a heat thing. Like you're jumping on the bandwagon a little late because you see the writing on the wall.
I've just changed my mind.
The cable network's platforming him after the insurrection.
No, it was how he carried himself. It was the gravitas.
He's changed.
Jessica. Yeah, well, that's not only did I think that. Not only did I thought that first.
Certainly CNN has.
I'm he's totally not going to do bad things anymore. Look at how he's talking here. He didn't do any of those things.
Reach across the aisle.
And he almost lost me a little bit.
Reach
when
around
he was
the aisle.
Stolen election, fake results. But then once we got past that, I thought he really found his groove.
Jessica, I don't even understand the side you're on this because I put down all my principles now.
What side are you on, Jessica?
The side of the fire alarm.
I'm like, this guy cares about immigrants. He does.
Yeah, compassion.
He married one.
Compassion.
But I'm saying I didn't believe that until last night. The media was selling you something else. They were telling me him holding up the Bible awkwardly out there, that was something that was unnatural. But I saw that spiritual man last night.
Don't fall for the quick clips they show you on the internet. Watch the whole thing.
Watch the whole thing.
Fake news.
You'll get the context.
Fake news. This is the thing. You can't have true and free speech. Not even Fox wants it anymore.
What was the name of her dog?
I think it was Maricopa County.
It was a cat.
Oh, it was a cat.
Look, I just need to apologize to everybody. I've been wrong all my life. Everything I've believed is untrue. I've been living a lie in a communist mask. I was swayed last night.
You're living in a simulation.
Swayed and moved. He's wrong. It is a witch hunt. Him and Santos, the two of them, just shout witch hunt.
He definitely did his lips.
Did he? Put it on the poll, please. That LeBatard Show. Did Trump definitely do his lips?
Santos. You can never tell with Trump because he's always got the.
Yeah, I was about to say, how can you tell?
His lips are perfect.
They're the most perfect lips ever in the history of lips.
And at CNN, congratulations on that choice. Thanks for changing in the new times. Don't pick a side. Go woke, go broke.
Shout out Discovery Media, Discovery Warner.
It'll get great ratings, right? It will get like this is
he gets numbers, man.
No, but this is what he does.
He
like
gets numbers. That's how he got elected.
But that's think about.
You know this, right? Like they show that the polling for him at the before the Republican primary in 2016, he was like 6th or whatever, and then he went on, and like basically because people kept putting him on because he gets ratings.
I encouraged it. I said I wanted an anarchist. I thought it was funny. No way that guy beats all those professional politicians. No way. Come on.
Fault?
No, but I'm like, I want publicly. Yes, make a mess of these things as the non-politician. I didn't know it would become this. Do you realize?
I think there was one day when Trump appeared on our show several years before he actually ran where Dan was like, oh, you got to run for president. That'd be great.
No.
Yeah, I remember that.
This was back when Trump was like a Democrat.
This is back when Trump was firing people on.
Dan was a Republican.
Yeah. Well, we also tried to get him to buy the Buffalo Bills.
Reality switch sides.
A friend of mine said, I don't remember any of this. I wasn't woke enough at the time because a friend of mine said, yeah, I was out on Trump when the black guy clearly won an apprentice. And then he just said, at the end, no, it's a tie.
Yeah.
It's a tie. He's like, he was clearly a white supremacist. I'm like, I didn't see it that clearly back then.
It's funny because most black people would say, I knew he was a white supremacist in the 80s when he tried to get people.
But Jamel Hill said it and got run out of ESPN, and she did it shrugging her shoulders like everyone's known this for a long time. But I really thought, didn't we all? I really thought, like, this can't work in America. Like, it's just a joke to get into the primaries to make the debates a little more ridiculous.
Now we're just reliving 2015 and 2016. Like every day. Every day for the next year and a half, we will just be reliving those 2 years where it's like, oh, is he going to do it? This is silly. Oh, is he bad? Who knows? Ratings. Let's keep pretending like this is all a big joke.
The amazing thing isn't that he won. The amazing thing is that in the process of winning, he managed to change politics in America everywhere. Like, and everything. How everyone now reacts. Everyone who occupies an office of some sort of importance or gravitas basically operates like Stugotz now.
A shameless power grab.
Yeah, yes, because it works. And I saw a tweet about this. Like, his legacy is that he's introduced this whole ignore the truth thing. There are actually no consequences if you yourself don't accept them. The only thing is, no one's as shameless as Donald Trump.
He's a master.
Yeah, and as this tweet also correctly pointed out, like, that may work in the media world and with people in their homes that are part of your constituency, but it doesn't work with the judicial system.
I don't know,
Oh, no, it only works if you're rich.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You get to point a lot of judges, too.
Yeah, that too. Helps.
CNN, as corporatization of media arrives, right? We talked to David Simon yesterday. The quality of the product you're about to get is about to suffer, and maybe you don't side with writers. Maybe you think they're Hollywood liberals and elites and they've ruined everything. But your content's about to get worse because I'm guessing they're going to sit out for a while. They're going to sit out till at least we feel the content getting worse.
Even that part, Dan, I'm not sure, right? Because on the one hand, I say even those people like, oh, those liberal Hollywood elites, but the shows go away, then they start to get antsy. Then I remember like Vanderpump Rules does crazy numbers. And I'm like, does it matter? Does any of this really matter?
Okay, but let me ask you guys this, though, because CNN is going to make a move to now we will platform Trump. We're not going to make any moral decisions. We want the television. We've got to compete in the modern age. We can't do it with Anderson Cooper trying to strive for fair and balance. It's got to be take sides, and more corporations are taking the side of corporate greed, buying the media companies, and about to influence the way that American politics are dictated with the propaganda machine because they run it. They own it. They're going to be working with AI to filter through your system, creativity, and humans are disposable, and only the billionaires matter, and the guys with the power, Trump and Musk and Bezos, will make all of the rules. They'll appoint the judges, and even as corrupt as Trump, they'll swing into the system and they'll change everything. They'll gerrymander, and they'll tell you, I'm the least racist person in the world. I don't have a racist bone in my body. And everything they're doing is creating a map that divides people.
Keep the show going. It's terrific.
We got it. Shouldn't this help us with the other side of the aisle?
I was blind. I was an idiot. I platformed him and Geraldo Rivera.
Keep the show going.
What?
It's terrific.
Because I'm like, what's the harm? They're bozos. They're morons. That can't win. Like, what's the harm?
Keep the show going. It's terrific.
Now, in Dan's defense, he was living in an era with unprecedented security and economic prosperity. I fixed this country. It was on the brink of collapse. I bailed out the banks. Shout out to hashtag Occupy Wall Street. And I thought, it's cool. We're signing treaties. We're getting involved in saving the environment, and nothing could go wrong. And so when we went into the DNC, I thought Joe should probably have been the one, but the party felt that Hillary was the better selection. I told Michelle, Sasha, Malia, you know what? I trust them because I listened to the LeBatard Show. And they had that bozo on. And I said, there's no way this guy gets elected. He's on the LeBatard Show.
Keep the show going. It's terrific.
And the subsequent backlash surprised me.
Backlash? Oh.
That's what it was. That is what it was. That was not a whoa. I meant to say that.
Keep the show going. It's terrific.
That's what happened. Barack took over. We saw Black Power, and it's like, nope, can't have that anymore. Get us a white guy in a suit. Anyone will believe it.
And now you do after last night.
I don't know how the entirety of the audience feels about late night basketball television coverage. But the reason I believe Kenny Smith or Ken Smith, I guess he's Kenny again now because the Knicks won. Mm-hmm. The reason I believe that him and Shaq and Barkley and very underratedly Ernie are the best things sports television has ever seen in this realm is because they've got all the space in the world, 6-7 hours a night to be themselves, which with these large swaths of television space, right? Not like these other shows that have a 9-minute halftime and 7 minutes of commercials, and it's just Stephen A. shouts something, Jalen Rose shouts something, go back to break. They have the room to spread out and really enjoy and celebrate basketball. It's the coolest to hang out with them for 6 and 7 hours. And their TV crew, great production crew, gets them, loves them. It's funny. Shaq's fit in there better than I ever thought he would. For them to spend 2 minutes last night on television, the two of them, Shaq and Barkley, trying to get through serious analysis as Ernie tried to push and prod them to, will you guys please be serious and break down this very important game between the Lakers and the dynastic Warriors. Please be serious. And for 2 full minutes, the two of them, through just laughter, they didn't say anything in these 2 minutes of television. Through just laughter, you knew they were laughing at Anthony Davis leaving a basketball game with a concussion in a wheelchair. They were trying to do commentary about it, but they were laughing. And they're like, can we laugh at concussions? Can we laugh at a wheelchair? And Charles, with his hand, was just rolling his chair while laughing and trying to say, this is what the series is. But quietly and privately, they were absolutely, for 2 minutes, laughing at Anthony Davis, laughing at street clothes, laughing at a concussion. And Ernie's like, are we going to do this or are we not going to do this? And all they did was laugh. Funny, not funny, that in a game the Lakers needed that Mike Greenberg said you should rest the starters because of this particular scenario. Anthony Davis in trouble for the Lakers makes them lose that series. Anthony Davis injured. No one trusts him from game to game. I mean, it's either you're great and you can win us the championship, or we don't trust you to stay healthy. We think you're soft. We think your body is capable of breaking down at any second.
Well, that's why you don't take the risk in Game 5, because everyone knows your body stays healthier when you're playing at home.
We don't know yet if it's a concussion. It's still called a head injury at this point. The Lakers were optimistic, reportedly.
Is there a head injury that's not a concussion?
Yeah, if you got a bruise.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Orbital
Yeah,
bone?
but he didn't have a.
Fracture.
If he didn't, yeah, but wouldn't a fracture result in a concussion?
Not necessarily.
necessarily.
Concussion
You can break your skull but not get a concussion.
Yeah, because a concussion is your brain.
Yeah, but I feel like if you break your skull,
If
the brain's getting impacted.
If you crack like your orbital bone, like she said, that doesn't.
You
touch
might
your
not.
brain.
I'm not
It's
a doctor.
not necessary. But yeah, we're not doctors, and we're not trying to do med school here. But the point is, the point is,
He got your ass.
you
That's-
got.
He
stop
shut
in
up
your
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, no.
Okay. All right. So you want, I did. Okay. Go ahead. I can't. That is I'll give that to Amin. If you guys believe this is something that can train me to reel it in, because someone must be heard on the subject. If there is a sound that the group can make to alert me of this, okay, Amin, the floor is yours, but I want to know why that worked and what it was, and is it part of your child raising techniques, that thing that you just did to stop me?
No, it's not that's what happens when you're a kid at school and you're in arguments all the time. That's how you learn. No.
It worked. His hands are actually still frozen in place. It's just all right. Your point.
Fight, flight, or freeze went into effect. He's frozen.
Yeah, you actually have to deliver on this point now.
Dan looks like Tua right now with his hands. Speaking of
Oh,
too soon.
no.
Bad judgment. I
Bad
told you.
there
This
it
is what I'm
goes.
telling you. So now go sit there for 2 minutes, please. Penalty box. He can't be trusted for seconds. His
No,
judgment.
didn't work that time.
It did work.
Ah!
Oh, no! You got
It's anti penalty box stopping. If he's out with a concussion, he's clearly going to be out for Game 6. He's not going to be able to play. You're not going to clear concussion protocol that quickly. So if he's out for Game 6 and the Warriors end up winning, then you have a Game 7 back in San Francisco. There's a real life chance that this was a massive, not only series altering, not only championship altering, but perhaps legacy altering event, all at the foot of Anthony Davis gets hurt. We were talking about it yesterday, right? Like, why do certain things persist? Why do certain reputations persist? And someone,
You're on with me, and I am making the argument of this guy is an alien, and he's one of the best people to ever do that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the community, Shaq, Barkley, you, laughs at what they perceive as his untrustworthy frailty, that he's not tough enough. So much so that Shaq and Barkley are laughing in their chair for 2 minutes at brain stuff.
well, no, being wheeled out does feel a little extreme. Like I don't think they're laughing at the brain stuff. I think they're laughing at the fact that we have a wheelchair appearance in the same way that we laughed at Paul Pierce being wheeled out. Like, the wheelchair appearance is always just kind of like, okay, relax, put it back a bit.
It is interesting, though. I mean, given that you just made a joke about an NFL player with a head injury who got stretchered off a field, like, none of us would have laughed at that. But, like, we find it more acceptable when it's basketball for some reason.
Oh, no. See, this is where I was going with it, Jessica, because I can laugh with them and love them, too. And they are the meatheads from a bygone era who would take elbows to the head. They were really tough. Both of them. I mean, you can make the argument on Shaquille O'Neal being as tough as anyone who's ever played that game because he played it more physically than anybody. anybody else did. And they laugh at the toughness of Anthony Davis. Shaq takes pride in, my dad's a military guy. I'm never giving compliments to this historic Laker who's not the big man I was, out there on the perimeter, floating around, shooting threes, not being the center that I was and Kareem were for the Lakers.
To be fair, Shaq also missed a quarter of a season due to turf toe. Now, I don't think turf toe is I think turf toe is a very painful injury.
It's awful.
It's awful. It has a silly name for something that's actually very painful. But also, I don't know that you get to laugh at how tough someone is when you missed a lot of time due to turf toe. And when asked, why didn't you get this taken care of in the offseason, his answer was, I got hurt on company time. I'm going to heal on company time. So I don't know if he's the prime example of how to handle injury or toughness in that regard. But again, I stress, I don't think the joke is that, Anthony Davis got concussed or he got his bell rung or whatever you want to call it. I think the joke is that we had a wheelchair out there for it. That's not a concussion symptom.
Okay, but if I may, all right, if I may. Now, I'm not a professional athlete. I'm a coward. I'm not tough in any way.
Are you a professional coward?
I'm kind of a professional coward. That's what a critic is. So I'm kind of a professional coward, yes.
Bags.
I've passed out recently, multiple times.
Yeah, that's soft, yeah.
And
Tequila.
that's just generally soft. But if someone in that instance, if I'd been at work because of whatever reason, because I'd lost my balance before I went down, I would have appreciated a wheelchair. It would have been very nice to not have to limp to a locker room. I understand that you want to convey toughness.
It also would have been funny watching you get
wheeled out. How many people would it take to wheel out Dan?
I mean,
You are
that's
all
unnecessary.
terrible.
All right, go now. Go
I like
sit
this
down.
game, though.
No. This is why his judgment can't be trusted.
No, and this whole wheelchair stigma is actually something that I've been personally affected by. My mom refuses to sit in a wheelchair because she's
Because she's tough. That's
well,
why.
to the point where she would rather risk falling and hurting herself than just letting someone push her around because she just sees it as something that is lesser than, and it just comes to social stigma.
I have Dan with a bunch of dogs in front of him pulling his wheelchair. Mush.
Okay,
Mush.
I mean, you're clearly the toughest. You ran off the court when Tim Duncan yelled in an NBA game. These people are tougher than we are.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'll never see a hockey player wheelchaired off the ice.
Agreed, but there's
you'll see them stretchered off, but I've never seen a wheelchair on the ice. It also, while it
How are
does
they going
seem
to get it on the ice? The little doorway is too small.
they fold.
They fold.
They
Panther
fold.
defenseman got
about
hit in
that.
the eye and missed 2 series.
I've seen Evander
Shifts.
Kane and Richard Zednik and Clint Malarchuk cut major arteries, and they all skated off the ice.
Listen, gentlemen.
Bros, you bros are so tough. God, men.
I do like
Men
the
are
game
crazy.
of funniest sounding ailments, gout.
Okay, no, I don't want to play that game with you right now, and I would like to team up with Jessica because she's right here. Because look at all of these ancillary tough guys, all of us, Roy and Mike and Amin, the toughest. Amin, who ran off the court.
I would never walk in a wheelchair.
I would never. If I were dizzy and if I were dizzy and my head hurt and I was worried about my head, it'd be nice to have the help of others in a wheelchair. I'm with you here, but I mean, now go sit in the penalty box for moral crimes, for being insensitive, for body shaming me, for making fun of wheelchairs. Take your masculinity, your toxic masculinity. I'm going to be tougher. I'm going to be tougher than the next guy. Get out of here.
That's a double minor.
And I cannot, Charlotte. Good luck. Good luck.
That's actually what I told her on the phone.
All right. Good luck, Charlotte, with all of that. Doesn't realize he's become an old sports caveman. The wheelchair is to be mocked. Seriously.
Saki virus.
He was saying before he left that New York fans and Miami fans should indeed insult each other by calling each other coke suckers.
Dropsy.
That's a Downton Abbey disease.
Maple syrup urine disease. This is from a Gizmodo list.
Good source.
What am I to do, Chris Cody?
My urine becomes maple syrup?
Yeah, you gonna brush by that?
That would be awkward. And cool.
Is there a Maple Leaves joke to be made here?
I'm troubled. Chris Cody, I think Meadowlark has made a horrible decision to give Amin his own show with anybody.
I'm going to tune in.
His judgment is bad.
I think it's just bad a very small percentage of the time.
Small.
95% of the time, we're going to get some good judgment. But that 5%, I'm with you. Could get a little
But he
scared.
wants to only broadcast that 5%. That's what it's who he wants to be.
That's a
and-
good name for a show, The Naughty 5%.
No, it's not.
It's a terrible name.
I'd tune in.
Maple syrup urine might be a good name for a show, though.
Oh, do you know what that music means? It means it's time for Thursday Thunder, brought to you by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. You can follow our parlay on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Mike, kick us off.
We're going with the single game parlay. As you know, I cannot get enough of the NHL playoffs, and I am really locked into the Dallas Stars. I told you 2 years ago, the last thing you ever want to do is piss them off.
You have been saying that for a long time. I don't like this segment.
Well, I have bad news for the Seattle Kraken. They've done pissed off the Dallas Stars.
I have a question. If the Stars implode in the playoffs, did that happen millions of years ago?
A supernova.
We'll ask Aaron Rodgers. He might think that the Earth is 10,000 years old. We are locked in on this. And one thing that I've noticed about this series in particular, Dan, is the second period total has always gone over. Like, it's just on a hot streak right now, and it's an auto bet for me at this point. So first leg of our single game parlay, which is a tripod, we're going second period over in tonight's Kraken Stars game.
Can I just stop you for a second? I need to stop you because I want this segment to work. I don't want to be sponsored content that has funky music and tells the people how to bet when our bets have been objectively terrible. What? There has been very little expertise in what it is that we're giving
I
you.
just told you.
No.
There's a lot of expertise.
Mike.
I told you, don't piss off the Dallas Stars. I've been right for 2
Mike,
years running.
this is my point. My point is that as a gambler, you have been somebody for many years who's been meticulous about how you bet with your actual money, with expertise. We have been going around the room. I am so tired of Tony asking, hey, Amin, what do you think on this prop? And then he's over on Jordan Poole's 16.5 revenge game, and Poole scores 0 points. And that's our parlay. Amin doesn't know shit.
I didn't give him the Jordan Poole one. I gave him Anthony Davis over on the rebounds.
Yeah.
that he
Have a
didn't get.
dinner with Dan Marino.
This is my thing. My point is asking Amin, the alleged front office insider expert, what he thinks is going to happen on prop bet has been for us. It's got no expertise in it. But Mike actually knows gambling. Mike is looking for value. Mike is snorting Kraken. And what I'm telling you is Mike
Kraken.
Ryan.
Don't you usually smoke it? Kraken? You don't snort it. Continue.
Leg 2 of our single leg parlay. Joe Pavelski, Captain America, once scored 4 goals and a loss in this series. We're going to bet on him to register a point. Over half a point for Captain America.
Mike is frustrated by our show in general, I would say, as is Roy, that we do not talk enough hockey around here. But we can't talk about hockey because look at what the Panthers have done to our audience. They don't want us talking about hockey. They want us to ignore hockey. Roy and Mike are hockey experts. Mike, I think you'll vouch for me when I say Roy has the strangest tweeting habits and he has the most unique hockey Twitter account that there is anywhere in the universe. Yes or no?
Yeah, I had a go at him. I actually enjoy it because of how bizarre it is.
It's Pavelski, by the way.
Captain America.
Is that a fine?
It
Yes.
is a 5.
Roy knows more about hockey. Look, dare I blaspheme?
I exclusively watch them on mute.
Roy, Mike,
That
Mike,
explains it.
Mike knows how to gamble on hockey.
Yeah.
Roy knows hockey more than Mike knows hockey.
Mike doesn't know how to pronounce hockey.
Yes.
Just
Sure. Fine.
what's
Well,
the third leg?
You're right. Fine.
No.
Pay up.
Yeah, but you guys had a kerfuffle yesterday that was awkward because we were showing our credentials and stuff, and it can't be disputed that Roy is our hockey expert.
I know more hockey. I know more puck. And I can also pick Jack Hughes. Fair enough. Leg 3 of our single game parlay from our show's foremost hockey expert that can pick Jack Hughes out of a lineup at a moment's notice.
Who's Jack Hughes?
Morgan Geeky Morgan Geekie of the Seattle Kraken, I think he will register over a half a point today. So, the third and final leg of our single game parlay. Morgan Geekie over half a point.
Jessica, if this segment is
freak.
Jessica, if this and against the spread or whatever the other one is, if we're gonna
Against the
The
spread.
spread.
I don't think we're doing that now.
Different segment entirely.
Jessica, please, because we're getting carried away with this teaching tool that Amin has given us of when to stop people. I believe that the Roy Mike tension around who knows more hockey is a real thing, and it needs to be legislated.
I mean, it is. I know more puck.
Hashtag Team Roy forever. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, okay. All right. If you want the information on the foreplay and who's on the power
Foreplay?
What?
What?
Hell yeah.
Follow me.
Now that would be a Twitter account.
You feel the
Follow
tension?
me.
Christ almighty.
In the air right now?
Get your
If
head out
Roy
of the
started
gutter.
tweeting about it.
Yeah, can you start tweeting about the foreplay?
Somebody create a rival account.
Right now, I am entering the bedroom and
Well, let's get into this for a moment.
It's about to go down.
I believe, Roy, now we're going to put pressure on your Twitter account. If you want hockey expertise, I've been trying to explain to people for a long time that Roy really knows hockey, cares about the microscopic elements of it that make people hugely passionate, and they become, compared to Roy's fandom, real Johnny-come-latelys to the Panthers because they've won 6 games. While Roy has been going to these god-awful games for 20 years, eating the bag of chips,
Johnny come lately.
and studying. Yeah, well, yes, you were with the Panthers as an
Microscopic elements.
Oh, no.
Here's the
I was in
fandom.
the pool.
Look, I mean, this is what's happening here, and I would like to peel it back, and I want everybody to see it. Because I believe Roy's been held back some with his hockey coverage because nobody wants it.
Peel it back.
And
Till back come.
I believe that his Twitter account is the most unique follow anywhere in hockey analysis. What is that Twitter handle, Roy?
Roy Belly. ROYBELLY.
All right, and it is the strangest hockey analysis I have ever seen because from a million miles away, which is where he sits eating the free chips watching Panthers hockey, his analysis is of things I could not possibly care about less.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. I can't deny that. Unfortunate.
But I don't even understand it. Your Twitter account is you've just noticed something on the ice a million miles away, and you've said, now the Panthers are on the power play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping people are paying attention and appreciate what I'm doing, but
They do,
apparently
Roy.
not.
They do. We all do. Maybe just not Mike.
Y'all are both wrong, dudes. There's only one Hexper on this show, and it's a dude constantly talking about 5-on-3s and coming from behind and banging it home with a little poke check.
He's right. He knows more about hockey than all of us. Me, Mike, all of us.
Well, he delivers it in a different fashion
been a
than
while.
It has been too long.
What happened last night? Panthers, you gotta rim it in deep.
Far away from the microphone, surfer hockey guy. You've been missing for like months. Where have you been?
No, I came back last week. No one told me we moved. I was hanging out at Kush like, where is everybody?
Shout out to Chris.
I don't understand the Twitter account. Chris Cody, let me put you on the spot here. Jessica, I put you on the spot here. The Roy hockey analysis during games, do you understand what's happening there?
I've been critical of my dad for doing this with Dolphins games. Some people use Twitter as I'm going to tell you what's happening in this game, where I think most people are watching the game. So it's like, give me something that is like funny or something of the game. Like, and I know Roy's going to say right now there's some people not watching, but it's just the majority of people that are following you on Twitter are watching the game. So when you tell us that some guy just went in the penalty box, I just find it.
Although when you tweeted out Mahura took one on the face, I definitely tuned in to see what you were talking about.
You think a majority of the people in this nation is watching Maple Leafs Panthers?
Roy, the
You
people
guys-
that Roy, you're tweeting about people that care about the Like the only people that are reading that tweet are like that taking it in are people that care about the Panthers. It's either somebody that doesn't care about the Panthers, you know what I mean? Like,
Now, hold on. I'm gonna stand up for Roy here, and I'll say
Well
there have
said.
been times where you see a tweet and that makes you tune in. Like, oh, is that game on? Or, oh, like, is that happening right now? And then you turn on the game. So, I'm with you, Chris. It's nice to have things that people can't see on TV. Like, I try to do that sometimes when people have an argument on the bench, but the TV cameras are on the other side of the court. But also there are times when you're like, you're not watching the game, and what gets tweeted about what's happening makes you turn it on.
I think we can all agree what happened last night was Kachuk didn't get it into the dirty areas and do a reach around. We all know that.
He's not wrong, Roy. And the analysis from far away from the Mike Surfer guy, I'm ashamed to say, has been publicly better than yours, even though I believe you know more than he does. I believe you know more than him, too.
It's all about delivery, bro.
He's right. It's about delivery. I haven't delivered it well enough. But, you know, hockey's a fast sport. I'm trying to get these tweets in as fast as I can before the next play happens.
That's another thing. This penalty that you're tweeting about is only for 2 minutes. So by the time I'm seeing this tweet, I'm like, oh, this guy's in the penalty box. Oh, that was an hour ago.
Here's the thing. When I'm out of town or traveling and one of my teams is playing a game, I always follow someone like Roy for one of my several teams so that I can follow along.
Don't you just follow
There's someone out there.
You follow the ESPN. If you really just want to follow the game and you can't watch, you're on ESPN, like the app. You're on an app, the DraftKings app. You know, you're following the scores.
Let Roy live, Chris Cody.
No, like details, Chris. Don't you like nuance and
It's
what's
random
This is
details.
why he's
though.
the expert and not you, because he pays attention to everything.
You know
Even
what,
little
Chris?
penalties that have passed.
I trust.
Last time someone got 2 minutes for hooking that cost him $350.
I just pulled up a random tweet. This is late in the game. Obviously, the Panthers are down. Roy tweets, "Panthers to pull Bobrovsky for the extra man."
I'm sorry, dude. That's bad.
Like every team pulls their goalie at the end.
Wait, who are we pulling?
I hate this character.
Roy now is mad at everybody.
Look what you guys did.
Roy is insane with fury.
Got 40 seconds for you to get one off.
See, this is he says extra passes for no reason. Get pucks on net. I like that one. That's a good tweet.
Jessica, so you're Team Roy all day. I am too.
Let's go through Chris Cody's Twitter account and read all his
Well,
stuff.
but this is what I believe. They watch the game differently. And Surfer Guy is all bluster and show and flash paper. And Roy is watching the incisive cuts of the game that tell you where these, as everyone's fighting over a goal, right? It's why the hockey playoffs are the best. Roy is out here watching, this is where one of these games turns with, in this place where we question the toughness of people.
Tweet from Chris, Greg De Niro.
Yeah, my dad looks like.